She is the face of Taiwan's defiance, the defender of the island's sovereignty, the woman who fought and won last year's elections on the promise that she would stand up to China and fight to keep Taiwan a liberal democracy. She is Taiwan's 65-year-old President Tsai Ing-wen, who is determined to take on the mighty Chinese. On the 10th of October this year, her fiery speech at the National Day celebrations marked the pinnacle of rising tensions between Taiwan and China. Tsai, who rarely attacks China in her public speeches, had a veiled warning for the dragon, saying, and I quote, "We will do our utmost to prevent the status quo from being unilaterally altered. We will continue to bolster our national defense and demonstrate our determination to defend ourselves in order to ensure that nobody can force Taiwan to take the path China has laid out for us." After the address, Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense showed off a range of weaponry, including missile launchers and armored vehicles, while fighter jets and helicopters soared overhead. These included a formation of F-16s, indigenous defense fighters and Mirage 2000s, which left white contrails in their wake. The show of air power was followed by a group of CM-32 tanks and trucks carrying missile systems. Not just this, Taiwan's Defense Ministry has proposed to increase defense spending by $8.7 billion over the next 5 years. The aim is to upgrade weapons and get new missiles. So what has brought about public posturing by this tiny island with a population of close to 2.4 crore against the powerful Chinese? The answer lies in 3 simple words: Chinese military harassment. Data released by Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense this month suggests that China has sent more than 600 military sorties into Taiwan's Air Defense Identification Zone, or the ADIZ, so far this year. In 2020, these incursions into the southwest corner of China's ADIZ stood at 380. In 2019, the year that the Chinese military aircraft first started flying towards Taiwan, the incursions totaled 10. The incursions began after the January 2019 speech of President Xi Jinping, where he called for one country, two systems union with Taiwan on lines similar to Hong Kong, a proposition that has been soundly rejected by the island. In fact, the brutal force that has been used to crush pro-democracy activists in Hong Kong has instilled more fear in the Taiwanese. This fear brought about the rise of Tsai, who won the elections with a landslide, with a popular vote of 57%. Her anti-China campaign had struck a deep chord with the people, but the Chinese saw it as a rebuke. At the heart of this divide is the Chinese government's belief that Taiwan is a breakaway province that will eventually become a part of the mainland. The Taiwanese disagree. They feel, in effect, they are a separate nation, irrespective of whether independence is officially declared. The two have a long history of tensions. The island became a part of the Japanese Empire in 1895, but was handed back to China at the end of World War II. But in the next few years, a civil war broke out in China between then-leader Chiang Kai-shek's troops and Mao Zedong's Communist Army. Chiang Kai-shek was defeated, and he and his supporters fled to Taiwan. Years later, Chiang's son began the process of democratization. Changes were then made to Taiwan's constitution, and democracy was adopted as a form of government. However, China still claims it as a part of the Chinese mainland. That brings us to the recent tensions. China's President Xi Jinping has said that reunification with Taiwan must be fulfilled. As Xi approaches a new term, he is only expected to re-emphasize this. Beijing has also not ruled out the possible use of force to achieve unification. While a full-scale war at this point seems unlikely, an armed conflict cannot be ruled out in the future.